Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build two Zaku 2s. And I'm also here to hang out with all of you, and I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. I am currently at 27 subscribers. The goal is to get to 30. I shut up about the number of subscribers I have when we hit 30. If you would like to become a subscriber, you could do that. If you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that as well. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you here. Yeah, I want to get to 30 subscribers. You could help make that happen. You don't have to, though, but you could. I'm going to write a note down that I need to ask for questions. I got busy this weekend, so I did not do a recording of my monthly Q&A video, but I have till Thursday to put out the call and record it for my Patreon, and I'll get to it. Breaking news, the correspondence dinner, there are apparently gunshots of some sort. More information to come, I'm sure. You'd think that in a room full of reporters, people would know what happened, but that's not the case, I guess, necessarily. So we'll see. And supposedly the correspondence dinner is going to continue, but I bet it doesn't. So we'll see. And remember, don't skeet, don't tweet, don't leave a comment here in chat about things. Don't wildly speculate in general. Wait for more information to come across your desks. If there's something you wish would happen in this world, keep that wish in your heart. I'll say that. That's generally my advice in most things is keep that wish in your heart. When you speak a wish, it doesn't always come true. It's because I don't believe in the secret. I don't believe in putting it out in the universe and it'll happen. I believe that sometimes when you really want something, you don't want to spoil it by revealing it. You just want to keep it tight, keep it in your pocket. And who knows? I should build model kits. That's probably what I should do. More than anything else, I should build model kits and hang out. So we'll go to the overhead camera. Here's the overhead camera. I am pretty much enjoying currently what I am doing with the lighting here. It's not perfect, but it's better than previous with the new lighting rig. I'm still kind of tuning it in. I think this is the sweet spot, but I think positioning of this is I could do better. I'm going to try to get this, the light, kind of see my right there. I'm going to try to get this a little further over, a little more centered. It would reduce the shadows, and then maybe if the shadows are down, I can reduce the brightness a little bit. It's not blinding to me, which is good. None of the lights I have are really hurting my eyes, but we'll see. It's leg day still. It is leg day part 2. We did the upper half of the kits, and then we focused on the legs, and we got 2 legs done, but we need to get the other legs done. I'm working on that now. If you haven't been with us, you may not be aware that there are a bunch of dumb things happening here as far as the fact that we are working on 2 Zaku 2s at the same time. The Zaku 2 F-type LeSean and the Zaku 2 Unidentified type LeSean. And we're building both of them at once, which is silly. It's a silly thing that we're doing, but we are doing it. Because that's what the instructions want from us. These are from Requiem for Vengeance, a Gundam series that aired on Netflix. That was fine. I've already built this kit before, but these are variations of the kits that I've built, so that's kind of cool. And they were a gift. They were sent to me, including the kit that I'll be working when these are done. I don't think we're finishing this tonight. I'm pretty sure I'm finishing this kit on Monday. We have to finish the legs, then build the waist. And then when the waist is done, then we can work on the weapons. And there's also at least one more shield to build. There might be 2 shields to build, but at least one more shield. So I got to do all that. And then when that, I don't think I'm going to finish all that tonight. I think I will actually finish that up on Monday and then start the next thing, which is the Narrative Gundam. It is a Master Grade of the Narrative Gundam, which I've never built before, never worked on that kit before. But it also has, in addition to that, it's got the B-Pack. It's got a cool big extra backpack and weapons, and it's got its own extra stand just because the stand it comes with, the Master Grade stand that it comes with, is not big enough and hefty enough for the backpack. So it came with a different stand that is beefier. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for the beef every now and again. If you're asking the question, where's the beef? I would also like to know the answer to that. Okay, so I'm going to spend a portion of tonight's stream talking about wrestlers that no longer work. That's wrong. Wrestlers who were released from their contracts yesterday evening from the WWE. And so they are still technically employees of the WWE because they are offered a severance package. Generally, that is, so it's a severance package and a non-compete. But they're independent contractors, so you can't actually, it's colloquial termed a non-compete. You can't do that. You legally can't do that. You can't say, hey, you don't work for us anymore. You can't work for somebody else. Main roster, 90 days. NXT, 30 days. You can't just fucking do that. So instead, they say, hey, you're getting let go. 90 days from now, you won't be paid anything. We're going to pay you for the next 90 days, and then you're free to do whatever. You can, because of that, just leave. You can say, no, do not pay me. I reject your offer. I'm going to go work somewhere else. You can do that. They took Brock Lesnar to court. Brock Lesnar had the money to say, like, fuck you. You can't tell me that. Rey Mysterio threatened to go to court, got settled ahead of that. There's some other stuff happening legally with, like, Andrade didn't get released. He got fired. And then he went to go to AEW, and they were like, you can't go to AEW. You have a 2-year non-compete. If we terminate you for reasons outside of monetary reasons, like, cooking the books, you can't just compete for 2 years. And that got settled. AEW gave him good lawyers, one would assume. But that got settled. But this is separate from that. These are people who worked for WWE and then yesterday found out you don't anymore. And I'm going to go through the big list. I'm going to talk to you about people that I know from the big list. Trying to get a 2-year non-compete is wild. Yeah, so Lashbrook, basically, they fired him for breach of contract and tried to claim that he couldn't work in the United States on a major television promotion or an indie promotion for the remainder of his contract, which was 2 years, which is insane because they couldn't, they didn't have any proof that he had violated anything. They just were, mad about it. So it's no. They got that shit figured out. And Andrade did the right thing, which is say, if Andrade had been hey, there's going to be some legal troubles if you hire me, he might not have gotten hired as easily. And instead, Andrade was yeah, everything's cool. They released me. I don't have to wait a period. They didn't release me. They fired me, so I don't have to wait anything at all. And then he got on TV and a cease and desist came. And he was like, what? Sure. Good bit. Good bit from Andrade. I'm going to go through these. I'm going to talk about the people I know. I'm going to talk about the people I don't know a bit. I don't watch the product, but I did for quite some time. So I do have thoughts on some wrestlers. that are no longer with the company. What we're not going to do here, we can speculate where we think they might end up, right? We can speculate on that. We are not going to talk about, I wish that blank had gotten released because I would like to see them somewhere else. We're not going to talk about that. These are people's lives. And a reminder, some of these folks were happy there. That's where they wanted to be. There are professional wrestlers who their dream is to be a WWE superstar. That is their thing. They wanted to wrestle in the WWE. That is the goal. The goal is not just to wrestle wherever they can in whatever company. They had a specific goal. And there are folks who wrestling was never their goal. This is the thing they're doing, and they like where they were working. The guys that own a house in Florida and work in NXT that are out of place. The folks that have that have visas tied to working for the WWE and now have to figure out, can I continue to work in this country? I have 90 days now or to figure that shit out, or I'm going to have to leave the country. Like there are things that people have to figure stuff out. So we are not here to be like, oh, I wish this person would get fired or anything like that. We can be shocked that some people haven't been released. I think that's fair. In the same way, we can be shocked that some of these people on this list were released at all, which is sometimes feels kind of crazy. Speaking of crazy, Nikki Cross often played a crazy person. All of the Wyatt Six were released. That's 5 people. The 6th person was Bray Wyatt. May he rest in peace. Basically, they made a spooky faction to honor a spooky man and to carry it on. I think the only people I would like to see leave are probably making too much money to consider it. Yeah. I mean, like, of their own volition, not wanting to renew their contracts. If Kofi Kingston was like, I'd like to travel the world. But also, fucking Kofi Kingston has kids that he wants to put through college. Kevin Owens has kids. Kevin Owens might not ever wrestle again. We actually have no idea. He might know, but we don't know if Kevin's ever going to wrestle again. So, like, for Kevin Owens, like, I want him to have stable income as long as possible, so that his quality of life is good. But we never know. So all of the Wyatt Six were let go. That includes Nikki Cross, who is married to someone that recently, Big Damo, who recently joined MLW, so maybe she'll be okay. She did get WWE to pay for her doctorate, her PhD. She is a PhD, and she is going for her doctorate. And WWE paid for that, for her schooling. So good on her. Zoe Stark. Actually, let me go through all the Wyatt Six. Nikki Cross. I can see her getting signed by MLW, being with her husband, doing that kind of stuff. I don't know what, maybe she'll want to stop doing it, but she loves it. I can also see her doing the indie thing, trying to stay in this country as long as possible, doing the indie circuit again. She would do very fucking well on the indies. Joe Gacy signed in 2020. He was in NXT for a very long time. He was part of the Wyatt Six. He will be the king of the indies. Joe Gacy he will agree to this. It is incredible that Joe Gacy, a CZW original, one of the men in the most illegal move in wrestling, that clip of guys breakdancing because they got hypnotized, he's one of those guys. He was heavier then. Joe Gacy, a dirt wrestler, making it to the WWE, getting into NXT with a gimmick that was awful. His NXT gimmick was that he was like, we couldn't tell what it was. He was like a parody of like leftists, like do-gooders, but it was a heel bit, but I don't think it was like trying to. It was toxic masculinity as a gimmick, being anti-toxic masculinity, but it was meant to be a heel gimmick. It wasn't meant to be like ironic. It was weird. Bo Dallas. So surprised anyone from that era of CZW can still wrestle and has to retire from medical issues. Yeah. Joe Gacy lived the dream. He made it to... He was a tag champion. Joe Gacy held gold in the WWE, and that's crazy. I could see him showing up in TNA easily. I could see him doing indies and getting back into deathmatch wrestling if he wanted to, but he'll have his choice of indies. He'll be in GCW the moment his 90 days are up. He'll be there, and it makes a lot of sense. I could even see him getting the Ring of Honor temp contract just because he can put people over and he can work real well. It is crazy that Joe Gacy got that far. Bo Dallas played Uncle Howdy. That was a creation of the alter ego of his brother, his real life actual brother. He was the leader of the Wyatt Six. He came back in order to play Uncle Howdy. People didn't know for a long time that was him officially. He has a career outside of wrestling. He does not need wrestling. I do not think he will end up in another company. I think he will continue to do it's a car dealership or an insurance. He and Liv Morgan co-own a business that was doing surprisingly well. But I could see him just doing the signing circuit and doing like horror convention signings with the variation of the Uncle Howdy mask and just doing just fucking fine. Forever and not wrestling again. Could totally see him doing that. Or he could go on the indies and do whatever, but I feel like he probably won't end up in a company. Dexter Lumis. Crazy about Dexter Lumis. He played like a psychopath in The Way in NXT. He got released once before. In 2020, and he got brought back months later in 2022, I should say. He released in 2022, brought back in 2022 to be part of the Wyatt Six, which is crazy. And it's wild. He sat around for a long time not doing anything. He had a bit where he was like a mercenary for hire. They brought up the main roster. He's had a weird career. I don't know, man. Maybe TNA, maybe the indies. He'd do well on the indies. I don't know. He would. Noah would give him a belt. Pro Wrestling Noah would give him a belt easy. He could end up in Noah and do well there if he wants to travel overseas and do Japan. The money's not good right now for that, but he could. And then finally, Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan originally signed in 2011, a member of the original Wyatt family. There are 4 members of the Wyatt family, but 3 original members. He's the last remaining member, honoring his brothers, spiritually, not blood. Released in 2020, came back in 2024 to join the Wyatt Six. Has never ended up getting booked by AEW in the past. I don't necessarily see them doing that now. He did a lot on the indies. I think he'll, as Eric Redbeard, I think he'll continue to do that. I could see him being a Ring of Honor guy. I could see them doing that just as like all right, we want to bring you in, we want to take care of you. Next time they do a thing for Brody Lee, he'll be available. He's certainly shown up for that before. I could see him showing up for that again. All of those make sense. The Wyatt Six was an interesting idea that WWE was never going to fully commit to. Nikki Cross is probably the one that maybe should have survived that and not gotten released, and they could have used her in another capacity. I think of those folks. I think Nikki Cross could have just pretended like the Wyatt Six never happened, and because she was a weirdo. I could also see them rehiring her. I could easily see them making a deal and bringing her back in. All right, let's go through some of these other folks. Zoe Stark got done dirty. She's been sidelined since May of last year, so almost a full year, with a knee injury. She got cleared to wrestle, but didn't get brought back. She is fantastic. If she wants to, she will be TNA Knockout Champion, the women's champion, easily, and I can see them doing that. And the thing that I should mention here is, because some people will say, well, WWE won't want TNA to hire people. They do. TNA hires people that WWE releases. They're fine with it. Nemeth is there. Indy Hartwell is there. There's several people. Xia Li is there. There are several people that they release that end up in TNA and stay in TNA, because what if they get good again? The WWE can get them out. And if they're in TNA, they're not in AEW. More on that later. But yeah, so they're fine with them going to TNA, because the TNA deals aren't good. So they're fine with that. Zoe Stark got done dirty. She deserves better. I hope she's cleared to wrestle. I hope she's physically and mentally good. Knockout champion. Could also see her showing up in AEW. I think there's another person that's more likely. We'll get to that in a second. Andre Chase. Andre Chase, signed in 2021, was not meant to be a wrestler. He trained as a wrestler, but very early they were like, we'd like you to be a manager because you can really talk. And we're going to do this thing called Chase U. It's like a for-pay college, and you're going to be the teacher, and it'll be a way for us to, your students will be the wrestlers, and then we can introduce new people, because there's always going to be new students. And if people break out from there, then we'll move them up the roster or release them if they aren't working out, and it'll be a carousel. And he did such a good job. He got so over that he ended up wrestling more. He's a 2-time NXT Tag Champion because of that. He probably outperformed where he should be. I don't know if he's going to wrestle on the indies or if he's going to try to be a manager on the indies. AEW is the land of managers, where WWE isn't. Although they have released several of them, there's always going to be young talent that could use a mouthpiece. And right now there are 2 big heel managers in AEW, and there's one that's mostly Ring of Honor, and there's room for more if they want to do that. I don't know. Also, they could hire him and have him do a similar gimmick and then put Okada in that, because that was always the joke, that Okada was going to go to NXT and be a member of Chase U. That was the dumb joke. The person I think is going to AEW most is Alba Fire. You were thinking I was going to say somebody else, but I don't think she's going to go to AEW. We'll get to her. Alba Fire signed in 2019. She was a tag champ. She was in NXT UK, then NXT, then the main roster. Her tag partner, Isla Dawn, is in AEW right now. So couldn't be Alba Fire. She'll be Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray should join Isla Dawn in AEW and be part and have tag. They could do singles and they could do tags. They're both great singles wrestlers, but their tag team fucking works. And they have a division, a women's tag division. So they should have women's in that division who tag. And they already got one of them in there. And then she could stay in the United States instead of having to leave, which would be nice for her. Dante Chen Signed in 2021, occasionally showed up on SmackDown, but never moved up the roster. Really used as an enhancement guy. Last seen on Evolve, which is like the bottom of the... So Evolve is like beyond Evolve to get onto NXT. And then there's the reality show LFG, which you use to get into Evolve, basically. So he was basically just down there losing to people to give them experience. I have no fucking idea what Dante Chen does. Maybe he like, here's the thing. He's the first WWE superstar from Singapore. He could, there is wrestling in Singapore. He could go and start a wrestling school and start a training, and he'll be good for a long time off just the name. People remembering that he's like from the WWE. Like, if he just wants to open up a school and do that, he could do that. Motor City Machine Guns. This is a weird one to talk about. Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, signed in 2024. Shortly lived tag champs. It felt like it was crazy that they did it. A thing to remember about them being in the WWE is that when their contracts expired with TNA, it seemed like they were going to go to AEW. They made an appearance in AEW, like when they crossed over. People were like, oh, they'll go to AEW. AEW loves tag team wrestling. They'll show up there and they'll wrestle the Young Bucks, and it won't be as good as it could have been 10 years ago, but it'll still be pretty fucking good. And then that didn't happen. They didn't go. They went to WWE, which did feel fucking weird. It felt very weird that they did that. And I don't think they're going to go to I don't think they're going to AEW. I think they're going to go back to TNA. I think they're going to get a not as good as their WWE contract. I think they're going to get a crazy good contract to go back there, and they will retire in TNA in a few years. They are in their mid-40s, early to mid-40s. That many years left in the tank, but I feel like they will go back to TNA and not AEW because for whatever reason, they didn't want to go to AEW. We don't know why. They went to WWE where it was going to be bad for them. So I don't know. Just to check it off the box because they really wanted to work with Gargano. I don't know. Let's see. Aleister Black signed to WWE in 2016, did NXT and then main roster. Released in 2021. Went to AEW by the most charitable reports, kind of a prima donna. Took some personal time off that people were really shitty about in media and fandom, thinking he was trying to get out of his contract so he could go. This was around the time that Triple H took over, when Vince stepped down the first time. And people were like, oh, he's trying to get out of his contract because he was dealing with mental health issues. But also, by all accounts, kind of a pain in the fucking ass to be around and to work with. Didn't really lose a lot in AEW, but had cool aura and cool matches. And this one's tough because, like, Andrade went back. It's possible to go WWE, AEW, WWE, AEW, but supposedly Andrade left in like, people weren't mad that he left when he did, because he was going to be with Charlotte, his then wife, to try to keep that marriage going, which it did not. So people were like, and apparently on Aleister Black or Malachi Black there, apparently not a similar circumstance at all, and people are like, nah, I don't know about that. So who knows? He could be also a package deal with his wife, who also got released. Zelina Vega, signed in 2017, released in 2020. Here's a thing that's fucking wild. So Aleister Black got released June 2021. Zelina Vega went back. They're married again. July 2021. She got released like in November 2020, in part because she was doing streaming and OnlyFans stuff, and they were like, hey, don't. And she was like, I'm not streaming under the name of my wrestling character. You don't own me outside of wrestling if I'm not appearing as me. And it was this whole fucking thing, and then eventually they were like, well, you can, but it has to be controlled by us. And she's like, no, you can't have password to my Twitch account. And it was this whole thing. Eventually they changed the policies and made up, and they brought her back. She's released again, trained by her cousin, the Amazing Red. That's a fun fact. We're up to 28 subscribers, so thank you to whoever bumped their subscription. If you want to have that thing show up, that'd be cool. But thank you. We're at 20 subscribers. Goal is to get to 30. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think Zelina is really fun. I think that Zelina would do well on the indies if that's what she wants to do. If she wanted to do MLW would throw money at her. TNA would throw money at her. She's been in TNA before. I could also see in 90 days her showing up at Hog Wrestling, which is co-owned by her cousin who trained her, the Amazing Red. I could see her showing up in there. I don't necessarily think Aleister and Zelina are going to show up in AEW. I think that bridges may have been burnt there too much. But also money talks, so who the fuck knows? Honesty and sincerity could get you farther. Apollo Crews. This is mean of me to say. Apollo Crews was still in still in WWE and got released yesterday. I did forget that he was still in WWE. Apollo Crews is going to go back to the indies, and he's going to do fucking great there. He was in the WWE between NXT and main roster for 12 years. He's going to go right back to the indies. He's going to do a bunch of cool shit, and people are going to be fucking stoked to see him. And I think he will be fine on the indies. I don't see him in AEW. I do see him showing up in Japan. Honestly, I see him in New Japan. I think Apollo Crews could do runs in New Japan and fucking put Apollo Crews in the goddamn Bullet Club. I think that would be cool as hell. And I think he would do a great job with the Bullet Club. I'm working myself into a shoot there. I'm now going to be mad if he doesn't end up at the Bullet Club. But I think he would be fucking great. I think it would be fun. Santos Escobar. This one is fucking crazy. Hey, Lord Crashington. We're talking about WWE releases that happened yesterday. Okay, so there are two that feel crazy to me for different reasons. And then there's a bunch of people I barely know from NXT and Evolve and LFG and all that. The first of the two ones that feel bonkers to me is Santos Escobar. You may know Santos Escobar best as King Cuervo from Lucha Underground. Or perhaps you know him as El Hijo del Fantasma, the son of El Fantasma, or the nephew of El Fantasma. No, his cousin is the nephew. He was the son of. There's another Phantasmo that's still doing it. He was in CMLL regionally, then he went to AAA, then through AAA got into Lucha Underground, then went to NXT, did indies and stuff, again, AAA again, then went back to NXT and WWE. Here's the thing. Santos Escobar, his contract was ending this year. His contract was ending, and he was like, I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm going to let my contract expire he was like, I'm letting my contract expire. I told the WWE this. Please, I can start working the day after my release is done, or my contract is up, because I'm just going to let it expire, and there's nothing they can do about that. I would like to wrestle in places. Please contact me about that. Which is crazy that he went that, and people were like, oh shit, okay. He's like, I'm not happy here. I'm not going to accept any offer. Have any Lucha Underground people done well in WWE or AEW? Yes. Swerve Strickland is a former AEW world champion. And also Ricochet did well in both places. So I will say yes. And also Penta. And Phoenix, they're not doing great, but they're doing good. So yes. I will say that the good wrestlers in Lucha Underground did well outside of it. The folks that were doing well in Lucha Underground already, like Rey Mysterio, it's fucking Rey Mysterio. But like, yeah, I would say Swerve Strickland, kill shot. I can't imagine anyone doing better than kill shot in either company. Yeah, that's probably the best. So Santos he was done, and then he canceled an indie that he had booked because they fucking rolled out the money. They wanted him to come back, and he re-signed in April, and then got hurt. He was hurt as it was, and he went to so. They paid him a bunch of money, sent him to AAA. He got hurt in AAA, and then also got in some arguments in AAA, and it was a bad time, and people were unhappy with him being there. And then they released him. They paid him all this money. He's injured. He's out injured. Hopefully he'll be cleared by the time his 90 days are up. So Santos does AEW need Santos Escobar? Probably not. Should AEW get Santos Escobar? Kinda, yeah, man. Like, he's a really fucking talented wrestler. He's got a great goddamn look and physique. He can fucking work really well. I think he'll go back to because he definitely can't do. He can't go back to AAA, and I don't believe they would want him to. But he could go back to CMLL, and I think he would fucking thrive in CMLL. They would be fucking stoked to have him there, and he'd do really well because he's a fucking great wrestler. I don't know where these parts go, and I've built this kit before, so that's annoying. I feel like there is a step with this that I'm not understanding. Do these go on the outside? They don't go to the outside of this. Like, there's an arrow pointing where these go. I feel like I had the same problem with this part previously. Like, these are part of the side skirt, but we already built part of the side skirt. So I'm like, they go in front of the side skirt. This? That doesn't seem right. I'm like, what? Like, these go here. So do I lift up and they like lock in like this? I don't remember how these go, so I'm going to fiddle with this. Anyway, Santos getting, like, basically, they basically paid Santos not to go to AEW, and now he's hurt, but I'm hoping that he gets healthy, and I would like to see him in AEW. I think that I thought I had this right. Again, I don't remember how this goes, and I don't understand how this piece works, so I'm struggling, and I apologize for struggling. I'll try it on the other side and see if I can figure this out. I have to do this fucking 4 times, so, like, once I figure this out, it's over for this piece. But oh, there's a little tiny slot. There it is. Okay, I now remember that this fucking tripped me up. It's a tiny little piece that needs to slide into. It's just like extending it, and it's weird. Okay, all right. Now this won't be hard. I couldn't fucking remember how to do this, and it was. Yep, I now remember this was annoying on the other one we did of this in the past. Okay, so let's finally talk about it. Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane, who they probably should have had a WrestleMania match with Asuka. It looked like they were going to get one, and then also they were on standby to be in another match, and they ended up not in that match, so they didn't have a WrestleMania moment. Kabuki Warriors with Asuka, part of Damage Control. So Kairi left on her own accord. She basically never quit and was never fired and never like retired from wrestling, but basically she convinced them at the time, like what they didn't want was they didn't want Kairi going to AEW. So basically WWE paid her to be a goodwill ambassador in Japan. They basically just gave her money, a stipend, to just please don't go. You know, you can go to Stardom, which is what she did. You can do whatever. Just don't go to AEW. And if you're in Stardom, don't go and do Forbidden Door or anything like that. Please, whatever. And the door is open when you want to come back. And then she did come back. She came back in 2023. Some people have all kinds of speculation about why she left in the first place. Some of it was she really missed Japan. She was burnt out of wrestling. She wanted to wrestle a style that she was accustomed to, and she didn't really love her time in the Fed. She felt pigeonholed, and it was very clear that, like, of those folks, like Asuka was always going to be a big deal, but she was, realizing that she was never going to outshine Io Sky, who was the breakout. All kinds of speculation that people have of what happened. We don't know. We don't know why, but she came back. And the thing I'll say about Kairi Sane is she didn't come back as good as before she left. And I don't know what the fuck happened, because she was great in Stardom when she was there briefly. And also, she had the women's belt in New Japan, which is its own weird thing that I'm not going to get into, but they have that. And she was a great champion for that. But when she came back, it wasn't the same. She was kind of miscommunicating a lot, sloppy in some parts, kind of a weird space. I don't want her to go AEW because, well, one, I don't want to go to AEW because I like to see Kairi Sane wrestle, and she won't get to wrestle much there. Because, like, right now, there are 2 Japanese women who are wrestling, or who are on camera. They're not wrestling every week. They're on camera weekly because there is an issue now with Shida and Mina, and so they're there. There are also other women from Japan that AEW pays that don't show up on TV. Riho isn't on TV right now. Yuka Sakazaki is fucking obviously cleared to wrestle because she just did this month. She was just in Japan to wrestle, and that match fucking whipped ass. It's crazy. They don't get used. And Shida wasn't used for a very long time. It's very frustrating. So, like, Kairi Sane should go. Kairi Sane doesn't hate Rossi, so she could go to Marigold, but she should go to Stardom. She should go to Stardom and then also work CMLL, who have a partnership with New Japan and Stardom, and have some great matches. But I think she would have a bad time in AEW. I think it would be a bad fit for her there. and she could do comedy stuff and some hard-hitting stuff in Stardom and be fine. But I think in AEW, she would have to be the Kyrie people think of when she left to go to WWE in the first place. And I don't think she's that gal anymore. I don't think she's got that juice anymore. Sorry, I don't think she's got that. I don't think she's got it like that anymore. And the rest of these are people, and I'm going to say some of these names because they are very fun, dumb WWE developmental names, and so they are fun to say. Luca Cristofino, Tyson DuPont, Sierra Linton, Trill London. Goddamn, Trill London is a good dumb name. God, Trill London. Tyreek Aguay, Malik Blade, Tyra May Steele, and Chris Island. These are people that either performed on the NXT brand or Evolve, or they were part of LFG season 1 or 2. Or season 1, I believe. Some of them only did the Coconut Loop. They were only in live shows for NXT. They didn't make it to TV. Some people were on Evolve. I should say that Tyra May Steele was the winner of season 1 of LFG, the reality show that The Undertaker is the trainer of. It's basically Tough Enough. And she's a former Olympic gold medalist, and it's kind of fucking crazy that they released her because she's pretty fucking good, and also a gold medalist, and also won their dumb popularity contest thing. So that's kind of wild that got released there. Chris Island feels like an indie name more than that feels like a mistake on their part. They could have done a better dumb name than Chris Island, but whatever. And that's all the goddamn releases. There were so many of them. There are probably still more. There were some scuttlebutt about some other people. Their contracts may be expiring soon, so there might be a few people that we will hear later that are not going to get renewed and found out they're not getting renewed. We don't know. We don't have that info. I can't speculate on that. But I did speculate on where I think some people will go. Who knows? I thought Cedric Alexander instead of TNA would have ended up in AEW. I thought for sure he would have. There were a few people that I was surprised previously didn't. Shotzi is doing the indie circuit, and I thought that AEW would have picked up Shotzi, but she's doing great on the indies, so good for her. I hope she's having she seems to be having a great time with that and doing really well. And she just did, because she is in MLW and the indies, she just showed up at CMLL. She wasn't in a match. She's going to be in a match soon, so they had her come out to promote that match. And she had her full entrance and pyro and all this stuff, and then didn't do anything because they just wanted you to know that she's going to be there. And I think that is very stupid and fun in a good way. That's some good, dumb fun. Video game stuff. I'll talk a little bit about video game stuff while I'm here. Let's see. Claire Obscure is on sale. So if you want to get Claire Obscure, you can get that for $40 on PC, I believe. It's also on Game Pass. And apparently, you could be part of the big number. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 has apparently worldwide sold over 8 million copies, which is a lot for a studio's first RPG, like first game. That's a lot of fucking copies. That's pretty wild. So good for them. That's just like, it's a big fucking number. So yeah, that's really cool. Congrats, Sandfall Interactive. This one, this is not. Things do not appear to be good right now. So, Nagoshi Studio. This is Toshihiro Nagoshi, the founder, the creator of the Yakuza franchise, the Like a Dragon franchise. He left Ryoga Gotoku to make Gang of Dragon, which is like a spirit successor to the early Yakuza games that looks pretty cool, but like has some funding hiccups, and they're kind of wondering if it's ever going to fucking happen. Their YouTube channel just went away because NetEase is pulling funding, and people were like, okay, are they just done? But then it came back. So it wasn't necessarily that it got pulled. It just disappeared. And then the Gang of Dragon trailer, which was on it, was gone. And people were like, feared the worst. And then it was back, and we don't know why. So it's weird. So apparently, their YouTube channel went down, and people were like, oh no. But they never posted a trailer on their website. It was on other places. So it was always up. It's just that became some people freaking out. But it is true. It is true that their website did go away. Or their YouTube channel did go away for a bit. And nobody knows why. So we don't know. And we don't know why. It's not a popular YouTube channel. It doesn't have like a lot of followers. It doesn't have like a lot of content. So people are like very confused, and I don't have any answers for you. We don't know. But we do know that NetEase is pulling its funding, and we don't know who else is going to give them money to finish the game. So it's kind of questions. So we don't know. So I don't have any good answers for you. I did watch that ID at Xbox showcase. I don't have a lot to say about the games that were there. I do think it's not for me, but Deep Dish Dungeon does seem fucking cool. It's very fun to say. Basically, Deep Dish Dungeon is just like a co-op online game that is just Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeon, but as a video game. And that's fucking cool, and it seems pretty neat. I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it. It seems pretty fucking neat and cool. That's coming out in the fall. Xbox, PC. And Crash Out Crew seemed like another one of those. This is from this is from the same folks. What Brought You Another Crab's Treasure and Peak. Crash Out Crew looks cute, and it's out next month, at the end of next month. It looks like more friend slop, which I don't think is a bad thing, because I think some of the friend slop stuff is very fun. I enjoy Peak. It looks pretty good. That will be day one on Game Pass, if you have Game Pass on Xbox, and then also on PC. It looks very silly and fun, and I will be checking that game out to see if my multiplayer crew wants to get into some silliness. Those are the ones that stood out to me. There were other ones, but they didn't really hit me super hard. If there was anything that stood out to you, please let me know. I know some people really like looking at Screenbound. It's like a 3D platformer and a 2D platformer and a top-down isometric game. It's like jumping between all of them. And I don't know. I don't see the hype as the way other people do, and that's fine. Sometimes it's not, a thing is cool, but it's not your thing. And that's okay. I can understand that and appreciate it. Last was like, I never checked it out. Didn't seem like it set the world on fire. Yeah, I don't know. But some people are pretty hyped about that from the trailer. at the ID. So I don't know. But there's some hype about that one, so I don't know. I do want to see a few games that were there that seemed neat. And again, that one that was basically Delicious in Dungeon is pretty cool looking. Even if I don't end up playing it, I like that the game got made. I think that's a cool idea for a video game. All right. Get here. All right. Let's clean this up, and then we'll let's body complete these kits, and then we will start working on more stuff here. Oh, there's some stickers I could put on if I want to put stickers on the khaki one. I could do that. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know if I'll do that. Maybe I will. But at the very least, we can body complete these things here. Make sure I'm doing the right colors for the right ones. And then we can put it all together. Hell yeah, look at that shit. That looks rad. Oh, wait. Did I miss pieces here? I did. I missed B1 and B1. I was like, wait, this looks naked. And it looks naked because it fucking is. Great job, Pat. That's got to go on that one. The reason why it didn't look finished, looked unfinished, is because it was unfinished. Yep, I totally missed that step. And then I got to panel line that piece as well. I'll panel line this piece on both of these after the pause for the cause. I'll do that. Oops. Okay. And then this piece popped off, so I gotta fucking fix that shit. There we go. All right, and then I open these up so I can get this leg on, this leg on, and then yeah. All right. Wait. Something seems off here. Yeah. There we go. That's better. I had that up too high. There we go. All right, we're body complete on both of our goddamn Zaku 2s. And now it's just like finishing touches. We've got some stickers I can do on one of the legs here. If I want to do some water slides, I might do that. We've got weapons. There's another shield. One of these kits has a whole other shield that's got to be built that has like tank treads, I should say, on it. It's pretty fucking cool. And then there are all these other things that we're going to glue on, maybe. We can glue on these pieces, these tread pieces here we could glue on if we wanted to. These here, basically. I could do that. I don't know if I'm going to. There's also chain that we can put on. I have this, like, pieces of chain here that we could also glue on onto, like, this part here. I don't think I'm going to do that at all. It just seems very intense and inventive. And then also a bunch of other water slides that we can put on as well. Where at very least we're going to do the shield water slides because that shit's cool. And we want to do the shield water slides if we, at the very least. I know that. Beyond that, I don't know, but I know that. I do know that stuff. That, like, there's an empty space here that on both these that wants this logo here. And then these can go on the khaki right leg. If I want to put that on this, I can do that. If I do that, I'll go back to it. But I won't do it at first anyway. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do, but I do know that at the very least I will... I'll probably do the shields, and beyond that, I don't know. And we got to build a weapon for the green Zaku here. Zaku F has a gun and oh, I can put a bazooka. I can build a bazooka. If I want to build a bazooka, that's good. And of course the tomahawk. So yeah, I got some options there. And then the khaki friend here has its old shield. And oh, it also wants me to apply glue, which I don't know about that. I might do that. Weird. A snap kit asking you to use glue is weird. Liquid cement. That's weird. But that is what this kit wants, so I don't know. I'm overdue for the pause for the call, so we'll do that. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you. That's right, you, about ways you can support the channel. I'll try to go through this pretty quickly because I do believe that everybody here is a subscriber already. But, you know, I'll still talk to you about ways you can support the channel and go through all that. If you are currently a subscriber to the Bill Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. You could also gift a sub. We are currently, as I said, at 28 subscribers because somebody renewed, so we're at 28. The goal is to get to 30. I shut up about the number of subscribers I have when I hit 30. So if you want to subscribe, it'd be great. I would love that. I would love it if you wanted to. You don't have to, but if you want to, that'd be cool. But there are other ways to support what I do here, and we'll get into all that. First and foremost, you can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. Should say, I will ask tomorrow for questions for my Q&A. I got one already, hoping I can get another, and then I'll record that early next week. Let's see, what else we got here? youtube.com/PatBear. Please join my YouTube if you haven't already. Subscribing is free. Membership, $2 a month. You get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, so you know before other people like what I'm talking about on Kuma Baer. So that's nice. And some people that they got set up on that system and they are members for channels and stuff, and so they're willing to do that. And if you want to help me out, you could. Let's see. Other ways to support me here. Those are all Cash Money. If you want to throw a tip, here's my tip jar stuff. Ko-Fi, PayPal, directly. Everything I make from direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon, through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and from that fund I pull money out to buy model kits and Lego sets and equipment like this overhead lighting that I'm really enjoying right now. All of that is because of your generosity, so thank you very much for everybody that's helped me out that way. These were sent to me. DSHS sent me this box and another box of stuff, which is very kind of him. But traditionally, the way that... Sorry, I just realized that this piece is wrong and I gotta fix it. I can't. Whatever. Fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Sorry. Everything's fine. I shouldn't just looked at it. Traditionally, the best way to have me build something that you purchase is to buy it from my Amazon wish list. Anything purchased on my wish list jumps the queue. I got a good backlog in 2026. I got some good ass model kits to build, but I can't build any of those until I finish the stuff that was sent to me. So if you want to also jump the queue, you buy something to the wish list, it comes to me. I recently added the Gustav Karl, which is a good name and a good kit, to the wish list. I've got a POUR type, POUR type Gundam marker. I've never used one of those. I'd like to try it out. Another Star Wars Transformers. Not Star Wars. What am I saying? I was looking at Star Wars stuff and mentioning Transformers. This is not the crossover between Star Wars and Transformers, which is a thing. Sorry, I got an email. It's fine. Everything's cool. But I got model kits and Lego sets, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, all kinds of things and things that I'd be happy to build on stream if you wanted to purchase those for me to build. That's the long and short of it. Like I got everything on that list is stuff that I would like to build. So if you want to do that, you can. You know, my birthday's coming up in June. If you want to get a head start, get me a gift now. Early birthday. No. Every year I mention my birthday. It feels weirder because I get older. But whatever. Still gonna mention it. My alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne. See if there's something there you'd like to pick up for me. And of course, if you want to support me financially, but you need it to be complicated, go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. They will send you an email with the gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon. If you wanted to. You don't have to. You could. It'd be neat. If you wanted to. But yeah. If you want to support me but not spend any money, you could join my Discord. It's a cool place for nice people. Come hang out in the Discord. I will have a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club up on Monday. The most current episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. Sorry, I have to... Kuma Baer. The most current episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club is me talking about all of the isekai that are out this season, because there's a bunch of them. So I talked about the ones that I am going to be watching. I talked about the ones that I don't plan on watching. And I talked about the ones that I might check out. One of whom I have started to watch a little bit. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series, which I just, for some reason, my notes, the link got deleted. So I have to go back and find that link, and I'm doing that right now, stalling for time. I talked about an anime that I think is fantastic called Journal with Witch. It is one of my favorite shows from the winter 2026 season. It is right up there as one of my favorites. So I want you to watch my 1-minute video about it. This one did terrible on YouTube Shorts. Probably due to subject matter. I don't know, but it just didn't do well. And that's a bummer, because I would like more people to know about it than maybe missed it. Or maybe me nudging would be what they needed to get and check it out. So yeah, kind of frustrating that video didn't hit, but whatever. It is what it is. 'Tis what it is, and that's what it is. All right, I have some anime to chat about, including a series that I just started watching and I'm going to get caught up on because I think it's pretty neat. In order to talk about that, I do need to get back to the overhead camera where I have to panel line some pieces here and then work on some weapons. And to do all that, I am going to quickly run away by using this button here, which will dramatically transition us back to the overhead camera so I can drink some water and we can get building again. We'll do all that right now. All right. Let's talk about not my favorite episode of an observation log of my fiancée who calls herself Villainess. And then also, Always a Catch. I'm starting Always a Catch. I don't know if I'll stick with it. I'm liking what I'm watching so far. I watched 2 episodes. We'll talk about it. I think I'm going to keep up with this one because it's fun. So yeah, I right now I'm like, yeah, this I think this has the juice. I think this one's got there's something good going on with this one. So I think I'm going to keep trying with this one. Oh, I have to, oops, this piece fell off, so I got that back on. And then I also have to panel line these things here, and then also get this little piece that fell off there. These are things I remember, the skirt being the worst part of this kit previously, and it continues. But let's panel line this front piece here. Harold just subscribed for 100 months, saying 1 year, the 1 year. Thank you so much, Harold. I appreciate you very much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site. Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Thank Harold for the continued support. Appreciate you very much, Harold. Thank you so much for that. It means a whole hell of a lot that you have stuck by the stream. and I hope you're doing well. I hope the tonight's episode of Loading Ready Live was good. I, of course, will watch it probably tomorrow while I have lunch. I'll take a long lunch tomorrow and watch it. But I hope you had a good time over there. I assume it was great. Excellent. I assume that's where you were. But awesome. I'm glad you had a good time. And thanks for popping in here. Appreciate it. And thank you for the 100-month support. We now have, I believe, 2 of y'all are at 100 months of being a subscriber. And that is just a fucking crazy big number. It's just a wild big number. And I very much appreciate it. All right, so an observation log of my fiancée who calls herself Villainess is an isekai from the perspective of the other guy. I know I don't get here as often as I used to, but I'm always glad to support you. I appreciate that, Harold. And as always, folks, I love when folks are here, when they're active in chat, when they're just watching and chilling out. But if you can't, if you got other stuff, or you just don't want to, that's also okay. I understand. I stream from 9 p.m. until 11 p.m. and on the East Coast, and that's not super convenient for a lot of people on the East Coast. And also, 6 to 8 isn't really super convenient for the West Coast people either. So, like, I understand. There are some people that wish I would stream during the day, and there are other people that wish that I didn't stream on nights that they are out, like Saturdays. But it is what it is. But I thank you for the support. So, episode 4 of An Observation Log of My Fiancée Who Calls Herself a Villainess is just that. It is a guy. He is a prince of a kingdom. His fiancée is the first person that is ever been kind of weird around him and not just a yes person. And he's intrigued. But also, she claims that she is playing an otome game, which he doesn't quite understand what that means, but she has things she said are supposed to happen have proven to be true. And in trying to prevent like terrible diseases and stuff, things have worked out. And also, she's trying to get the story back on track. Like, she's a little bit of a ditz, and she's not trying to like rewrite the story for her own purposes. She's confused and concerned that the story isn't going well or on track. Like, he's not falling in love with Hironia, the heroine of the story, who's also acting weird, and we don't quite know what's going on with that, but we can make some guesses as to why she's a little weird as well. But yeah, things aren't quite working the way she was intending for them to work. So she's trying to play matchmaker. She's trying to force Cecil's the prince, like, force that connection. She's like, I gotta get the story back on track. And of course, Cecil is fucking mad about that. You know, he's trying to do okay by Bertia, our main character, our villainess, but he's like, what are you doing? I don't want anything to do with her. Like, why are you keep trying to get me together with this girl? So Bertia is like, okay. What I'm going to do is, she's going to try to go for the best ending. And the best ending is Cecil and Hironia get together. And one of the best way to do that is in her mind, is to make sure that the other marriage candidates, the other guys, because of course it's an otome game, so there are multiple dudes that you could pursue. She wants to make sure that they don't fall in love, with the heroine of the story and mess things up. So she tries to set up various dudes that we met previously with other girls that she's friends with. She tries to get Vald together with Cynthia because Cynthia is healthy in this world, but wasn't in the previous version. So she's like, oh, this is a character that wasn't supposed to be healthy and survive, so this will be fine if I can set them up. they do end up getting kind of close together, but I don't know if it's love. It more might just be that these two characters have a friendly rivalry now. Either way, this was fun support work from these characters that we don't really know a lot about. So either way, this was good stuff. Even if it was like, oh, I don't know if she succeeded or not, but it's still neat. Then Charles, who is a love target. Well, our girl Bertia knows that Charles, part of the reason why he gets together with Heronia is to heal a broken heart, because he's in love with Anne, who is engaged to his older brother, and it was a love that could not be, and then in comfort turns to relationship in one of the various Otome endings. So again, of course, our girl knows that. And apparently, Anne has also harbored feelings for Charles. This was a thing that she also it didn't work. And so Charles is like, okay, I'm going to try to become Cecil, the prince's aide. I'm going to make a name for myself and have a high standing so that I can. So it makes sense for me to pursue the love of my life, who also has feelings for me. And so it's like, oh, these are nice things. Our girl is trying, in an attempt to get her fiance to fall in love with another girl. Our girl is again, I have to remind you, a thing with Bertia is she is trying to get the story back on track, which is very funny because she's doing a terrible job of it. But she is making love connections, and it's cute and fun. And watching her completely fail at what she's trying to do, but also succeed. I don't know. It's good. Bertia notices that Sean, another love interest in the Otome game, becomes nervous a lot around Joanna. So it's like, okay. And then Nelt is already childhood friends with Cecilia. Man, I gotta tell you folks, I had to really go back in there and make sure I had all the names right, because these characters did not get a lot of time to develop in previous episodes. And so all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're gonna deal with all these characters. And I was like, wait, which one is this? Who's Nelt? So she's like, okay. All right. What if we okay, let's get some cookies, maybe with these people who have relationships. Joanna's a terrible cook, so that fucking falls apart, because then we do cookies. But it turns out that Sean was thinking that Joanna was a perfect person, and he watched her fail at making cookies, and he was like, oh, I mean, I already liked you, but now I'm not as nervous because I'm not thinking that I have to be perfect around you. You're it's like the flaws are also encouraging him. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but I think maybe you get what I'm saying there. It's lovely. But Nelt is like, hey, you're always fussy around me. It's weird. Like, we're childhood friends, but it feels like you're mothering me, and I don't love that. And then Bertie's just like, well, because she's in love with you, obviously. Dumbass. And then because he blew up at her, Celia, like, he's like, fine, I won't hang out. I won't be around you. And turns out, as soon as she's gone, Nelt's like, ah, shit. Fuck. Turns out you weren't nagging me. You were just around. And now that you aren't, I miss you. The absence made the heart grow fonder and all of that. A nice little bit of business. All right. So our girl, basically in one episode, Bertia is like figuring stuff out. She's like, I'm Cupid. I'm nailing this. I got all these couples paired off. True love reigns supreme. And that's awesome. Meanwhile, Heronia is really mad because, like, nothing's working out for her. Nothing's going right. Oh man, is she also isekai'd? And she was I think, you know, it's like, oh, she was going for the harem ending, wasn't she? She was definitely going for the harem ending, and she's also an isekai person that's not acting like she should be because she's expecting the game to just unfold the way she wants it to. And she also, I think, doesn't understand that Bertia was isekai as well. And also, there's a mysterious woman that's watching Aronia. Is she another isekai character? Is she trying to like help out in some other way? Who knows? We don't know. But there was a mysterious woman watching her. Is this tied to the story? I don't know. But I do know is that this was a pretty fun episode. It wasn't like, again, it wasn't my favorite episode of this, but like it didn't have to be, you know, I didn't need it to be the greatest. It did move fast. I bet the manga version of this was a little easier to keep up with because you're just like, oh yeah, all right, I guess I remember this character. Oh, I guess I remember that yeah, they were there. Okay. I'm going to put on these pieces on the back here. We got our guns done. Because I know. And we can put that, or we can put the... we can also put the axes that go on the back there if we wanted to. We could do that as well, which are just the tomahawk axes here. Those can also go on the back here if we wanted to. We'll have one of them hold the axe and the other one won't. We'll do it like that. All right. These are all just one piece. So basically, go back here and put this like this and put it there. All right. So Always a Catch is a fantasy series that is not an isekai, but is a fantasy series that I was like interested in. I've read like the first couple chapters of the manga, so I was like, oh, I might want to check this out. I don't know. Wait, who has the? All right. Which one of these has the? Okay, it's green. Okay. Oh, they both have a bazooka, so I can give both of them bazooka. We'll give one of these a bazooka, and the other one won't have the bazooka. We'll do it like that. So we'll give that one, and then this will take off. So we'll give this one. Well, this one will have the bazooka, and we'll give them both the axe because I think that's funny. I think it's funny if both of them have an axe, and one of them will have the submachine gun. And this one's also going to have a weird extra shield, so we do have to build that. So we might not be able to have the tomahawk on there, but we can do it for right now. We'll definitely give that one the bazooka. And then this one we'll give the submachine gun to. I didn't realize I was going to be building 2 bazookas. That's excellent. That's also just a fun thing to say out loud. Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be building 2 bazookas. That's just fun. That's just fun silliness that I get to say that out loud. That is a fun, silly thing that I get to say. All right, so we got that, we got that, we got that. You can put the guns together if you want to do that. I don't want to do that. All right, let's build some bazookas. Well, I talked to you about Always a Catch. So this is a fantasy series. I'll just talk about the first 2 episodes here because I've watched 3, but I'll just talk about 2, and I'm going to try to get caught up with the show because I think I'm going to watch this weekly, and I'll be caught up in a couple weeks here. So we need A3 and A2, and then E1 and E2. Okay. Aside here for now, just for now. E15 and E25. Piece here. So, our first episode. Maria is the daughter of Duke Anovari. So she's the daughter of a duke. And she's basically like... The thing with our girl is, Maria, is that she was meant to just become the next head of the household. Generally, that would be a boy, right? But they were like, you know what? You're very skilled, you're very talented, and it's okay. We're going to make this work. You're going to become the next heir. And then they end up having a son. So she's got a little brother. And they're like, okay, great. You need to get married. And you are probably too old to get a fiance right now. So why don't you go to a neighboring kingdom, go hang out with Ada, your friend, and see if you can meet someone from another place, who's another duke from another kingdom. Ada is upset. She is engaged to marry a prince, but he is very inattentive with her. He's never around. They don't love each other. And like they just don't see each other, and it's a shame. And so our girl Maria's just like, yeah, well, you know, I know you don't love him, but I'm here to find a husband. That is, unfortunately, my job is to find someone to marry me, which of course our girl is not pleased with that, because she was supposed to inherit the title. But then, you know, like I said, suddenly she's got a younger brother. She's happy to have a younger brother, but she is wishing that did not happen. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So they go to the Royal Academy. Ada introduces Maria, our main character, to her brother. To the prince's younger brother, who they're close with. It's very clear that the guy who's not the crown prince, they've got feelings for one another. It's very obvious this is the way to go, but that's not to be. Renato, the prince who's overly serious, we get a glimpse of him, but we don't really see much about him. We just know that he's kind of aloof. He makes no time for his fiancée, which is obviously a bummer. That he can't, like, make time for her. Even if it is an arranged marriage, you know, that's the fucking part of it. So at least he could be, you know, engaged with her while they're engaged. Haha, nice, right? Let's see. Maria accidentally injures a classmate named Eleonora, which obviously is a problem. And Renato shows up with Eleonora. This is the fucking crown prince, and he shows up at this big party, graduation party, with another woman that isn't his fucking fiancée. And that's crazy and wild. And Maria's fucking furious about that. So Renato's like, hey, you attacked this girl. You were unfit to be my fiance. I want to cancel our engagement. I want you to leave voluntarily and leave this school. And the thing is, he's talking to Maria. He doesn't even recognize that this isn't his fiance. Yes, she did accidentally attack this woman and injure this woman who Renato is hanging out with, but that's not... He doesn't even know what his fiance looks like enough to realize this is a different woman. So Maria's fucking obviously genuinely pissed off about this, and I should clarify I think you know my stance on this. Completely in the right for being pissed off. So Maria's just like, I'm not Ada, slaps his hand away, says, you need to start wearing glasses, which is it is a insult to the royal family. But he's basically like, you're a fucking idiot. Because he's like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? You don't even know what your fiance looks like. I don't go to this school. Like, what do you do? What are we talking about? But she insults the royal family, so there could be trouble. That's the first episode. I was like, yep, this is what I remember from where I read in the manga. I'm on board with this. I'm excited to see where this goes. Let me watch 2 more episodes, but again, I'll only talk about the second one here. So basically, the younger brother and his aides scold the prince for being like, what the fuck, dude? What are you doing? Basically. And then Maria was so mad for her friend. It's just in this moment, she goes, ah, shit. I yelled at the prince. Probably not going to find a fiancé here. Probably just fucked this up for me. But friendship is more important. So the prince summons, Renato summons Maria to apologize properly and is just like, so obviously I fucked up. I don't really know what my fiance looks like because I try to avoid her because like my brother has always been in love with her and we got engaged and it sucks. So I've tried to avoid her and I was trying to look for any reason to end this. And he was like, and apparently he was like, look, if I cast her aside, people were going to stop me. And maybe I wouldn't be the crown prince anymore, and my brother would be the prince. So he was basically setting in motion a scandal that he would never recover from. That got ruined. Well, one, it got ruined because Maria let everybody know what was up, but also it got ruined because he fucking tried to banish the wrong girl. And then Ada could marry Placido, his brother, and it will be fine. And apparently, we find out later, he's still going to be crown prince. It hasn't been named officially. His plan did not work. Everything just is as it is. His grand plan that he did fuck up on his own. She didn't make it better, but he did fuck it up. He's like, oh yeah, my grand plan didn't work. They're still going to make me the crown prince, which is like, yeah, dude. Yeah. So, remember the girl that got injured accidentally that the prince was pretending like he had feelings for? Eleonora. Well, apparently, she didn't have feelings for him either. She was there to try to get engaged to him in a plot by her father, who was obviously a corrupt noble trying to weasel his way in. It was obvious. It was very obvious. He was not good at it. He got imprisoned. Eleonora has kidnapped Maria, which obviously, and she wants to trade Maria for her father, which is a weird thing to do because Maria is from a different kingdom, and I don't know why they would care about that. They probably should have kidnapped, the other girl, Ada, but whatever. So our main character gets kidnapped. They want to make this trade. It's probably not going to go right. Renato organizes a search party, but also she doesn't need to be rescued because she's learned martial arts, and we get a pretty well animated for the budget of this series. I don't think there's a lot of money in this show because it's mostly going to be a romantic comedy. Is that she's a pretty good martial artist, and she just beats up the kidnappers and escapes. And then she's horrified to realize, oh no, Renato had found her and witnessed her display of martial arts. And she's just like, ah, shit. He probably thinks I'm like some kind of like muscle crazed woman or something. But no. She's the most interesting, cool person he's ever met. And he proposes. He proposes to the woman he just met who told him off and then whooped ass with martial arts. And he's just like, I am totally into you. Marry me. Again, he is engaged to her best friend. Come on, dude. But good end to episode 2. Maybe you want to watch the 3rd episode, which again I'll talk about on another stream next week. I guess I'll do 3 and 4 and try to get caught up. Because there's only been 4 episodes, so I can get caught up pretty fast. Yeah, I'm liking this one. It's goofy, like I said. There's not much budget to it, but it's got good vibes. It's got some stuff. I think Maria has a good attitude. I like the Japanese voice actress. She's having a good time with this one. The kind of like she acts before she thinks, but all her actions are like reasonable and understandable, except for the part where you're like, you're a noble woman. Like, you gotta fucking figure your shit out a little bit more. But again, enjoyable. I'm liking it. I think you might want to check it out. I think you might like them. I do also think that an observation log of my fiancée, who calls herself Villainess, is really fun. And I think these are 2 good juxtapositions, or like complementary shows. All right, we got bazookas done. We'll give a little, we got to put, not almost done. I'm sorry. I got to put the scope on here. 6. Tiny piece right there. There we go. 6 and 6. Put on the scopes, and then these bazookas are done. We'll have one use the bazooka and the other one hold the bazooka, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Haven't decided yet. And that snaps on there. We could panel line this. I'll see if there's anything I want to put on there. There we go. And then, yeah, I can throw a little marker on. Now is the part of the stream. Excuse me. Ooh, I'm burping. Sorry. Now is the part of the stream where I would like to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? Are you playing any video games? You seeing any TV shows? You watching any movies? You get caught up on anything? You rewatching something? You checking out any anime this season that you're enjoying? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you in the chat there. What you're up to, what you're into. I'll tell you that I finished, I think for me anyway, Piece by Piece. I think that game is really fun. Wish listed if you haven't, if you don't want to wait for a sale or something. I think that game was a lot of fun, a really good time. So I highly recommend it. It's very inexpensive. I have not played Snap and Grab yet. I will be playing that on Tuesday. It will not be a sponsored stream, but I did receive a code. But I'm also going to be giving away codes on Tuesday. I have 3 codes to give away, so please be there for the stream. I'll give them away at some point during the stream. I have to remember how to do that. Yeah, I can do that in Nightbot. I just don't remember how to do it. So I got to look that up in Nightbot or remember how to do that. I've been playing more Hearthstone. I'm no new decks right now. I'm just playing the decks that I have, and I'm still liking them. Getting some wins here and there. Fallout 4 with lots of mods. I have started a new game. The goal is to have to finish the main game with all of the mods I have right now, and I got rid of some conflicting mods. And what I want to do is I want to using the mods really build up Sanctuary and do a lot of dumb stuff in Sanctuary, so I can show that off on my birthday stream, which is June 23rd, starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
running until question mark. It'll be on my actual 46th birthday, and that'll be a subathon. And I want one of the tiers to be going into Fallout 4 and showing you what I can do in Fallout 4. I think that'll be neat. And then in probably in next month, I will reveal what the, like, if I hit 90 subscribers, what will happen thing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that then. And I think people will like the reveal when the reveal comes. All right, so that goes there. This axe can go here. Oops. All right, that goes like that. Got the bazooka on the back. We've got the gun here. And then this will go on here. Gotta split this open to get on there. Harold says, Vampire Crawlers for All Mankind and Prime's American Gladiators reboot. I have not, I do have Amazon Prime. I have not checked out that reboot. I have been thinking about doing it. But I have not checked that out yet. But again, I am curious about it. I watched the last American Gladiators reboot. And I did also watch I watched a previous reboot of the British Gladiators, because that's what they call it. In the UK, they just call it Gladiators because they're the ones that made it. And then the American version got named American Gladiators for reasons you can probably understand why it was called that. Okay, so is this the wrong piece? This might be the wrong hand that I need to put on here. All right, let's try a different hand here. But I am thinking about checking that out. I'm thinking about doing that. I don't know. Again, I don't know. All right, yeah, let's try this hand. No, those are all. Let's try the trigger hand. Let's see if I can get that to work right. Let's see if I can get the bazooka to work on that. I don't know. We'll see. I might have to use the other colored bazooka because this hand might not fit right. Okay, if I do it like that, can I get that there? But yeah, if anybody else is playing any games or watching anything or reading anything, listening to any music they like, I always love hearing from y'all folks about that stuff. So feel free to let me know in the chat. Last week says, I'm only watching Akane Banashi and Damon's this season. Really enjoying both. As always, been playing Marathon and had a bit of a low period with it, but I think I'm back in it. Hell yeah. I mean, look, ebbs and flows, those things happen. So sometimes you just gotta like give it some time. Sometimes you just go through a period where it's not hit you hard. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's see if I do it like this, maybe. Yeah, okay. I think that's the way to get this bazooka going. Don't remember why, but I got in a Super Monkey Ball kick. Hell yeah! Playing the 3DS one for the first time, and the level design is a lot less open than previous games, so I've been playing Super Monkey Ball 2 for a bit, which still rips. Yeah, the 3DS one, I remember that being a bit more contained. I didn't play a lot of it. I think I borrowed it from a friend, and I didn't love it as much as the original games. But it was also like, it's on the 3DS, and I think they're fucking doing their best with what they got here. Like, I don't know. I think I was, like, trying to be reasonable with it, like, understanding why that wasn't quite working right. So we're definitely going to be finishing this kit on Monday. We're going to finish up the shield. We are going to do a little bit of gluing some parts in. We'll do one of those now, I think. Yeah, because I have to glue a bunch of parts on here, and then we'll do, I don't know how many of the, at the very least, we're going to put on, the shields need stickers, so we'll definitely do that. Beyond that, I don't know what else I'll do on here. But you know what? I'm going to glue that one piece on just to kind of get a sense of how that works. But I'll have water and tools and stuff for some, what do you call it? For doing some decals. But we got a little glue here on an E21. So this is for the khaki one, so it's this one. And it looks like I can put on this arm, I can put E21 on there. Treads. Because this one is going to have a secondary shield that has a lot of treads on it. So I'm going to like fit this. Well, that's supposed to be E21. So E21 is this piece here. Okay. And that's done with that. Cool. So yeah, I'm going to see how this works. Basically, I don't know why it's liquid cement instead of it sticking it on, but that's the case. It wants to go on like that, yeah. But it's just treads? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I would do this. Other than it says to. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I will probably do the track treads on the shield, but I don't think I'm going to apply this piece on here. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think it makes any sense. I'm not going to worry about that. Maybe I'll do it later. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I think right now that's okay. But yeah, so there's this shield that's going to have all these things, and then we got a lot of liquid cement to put on here. And there's some decals, and there's some other stuff we could put on there if we wanted to. Like, there's stuff on the shoulder. We could put one of those on there if we want to do that. I haven't decided if I want to do that or not. But I have options. I can for this one, we can make kind of custom. We can put some metal chains on there, which again, I don't know if I want to put on these little metal chains. I don't know if I want to do that, but I might want to do it. I'm probably just going to do like these little bars and stuff. I think that's probably what I'll do instead. Yeah, that looks better, I think. Instead of the chains. I probably won't do the chains at all. But yeah, I think this is where we're going to leave off for today. We did get a lot done. We got all the weapons done. We got body complete on this kit, on these kits, I should say. And then it's just the finishing touches. The secondary shield this kit needs, and the stickers that we need, water slides that we need to put on there. I like the idea of both of these having the different weapons, and then both having the axes in the other hand. I like that both have axes. That's good to me. And I think we're going to wrap up there. Now, here's the deal. The stream is over in a minute, but we're still going to go hang out with some other people because that's what we like to do. We're going to go spend some time with some other folks and see what they're up to. We're going to go on a raid is what we like to say. Because we always end with a raid. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff and go spend some time with them. So I encourage you to come along with me. Let's see. Who is doing things on a Saturday? Let's see. When in doubt, let's go to Giant Bomb Forever. Giant Bomb Forever is often where we end up on a Saturday. And we'll go and see what's going on with them. Some game stuff happening here. Always fun to go hang out with the Giant Bomb Forever always on channel. So feel free to come along on this raid. Next stream on Monday, we will finish this up, and then we'll start the narrative Gundam. So I don't know when we'll actually get into the narrative, but at the very least, we're going to get these kits completed and then start the next thing. So I hope you'll join me for that. Thank you very much for being here and spending some of your Saturday with me. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you on the next stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.